Today, I'd like to talk about the term that is so used in personal development. That is self-abandonment. And every time I hear about this word, something within me doesn't sit really well with this word. And I can tell you why. First, we are not really self-sabotaging. What I believe that we often do is because our mind is like a very sophisticated software that learns on the way, learns in life. So what happens is that we are always finding ways, learning ways to how to make sure that we survive and stay most loyal to our hierarchy of inner values. So for example, humans, they inherently, like according to Dr. Gabor Mate, we value attachment and authenticity. So we value connecting with other people, feeling that we belong to somewhere, to people. And at the same time, we need to be authentic. We need to feel that we are truly accepted by who we are. We need to feel that we have the room to express ourselves. So what happens is that as we grow up in life, when we encounter situations that are difficult for us, what I believe and what I observe also that is happening, like after doing a lot of research, after 2 years of school, learning about therapeutic practices, ancient wisdom, shamanism, and also doing my own research, is that the mind is very sophisticated in the way that it learns the best way possible to cope with different kinds of situations and to make sure that our hierarchy of needs and survival is actually maintained as better as possible. So what this means is that I don't believe that we truly self-abandon in any kind of situation. But what happens is that because in certain situations, there are certain needs. Let's say that our needs for attachment and our need for authentic expression, they might be conflicting with each other. So let's say that we are in a situation with a loved one in which we perceive that, okay, if we are authentic, we might not be loved, we might not belong. But because we have to prioritize one of the values, one of the needs, so when our mind perceives, okay, I perceive that to survive, to make sure that Monica survives in life, prioritizing attachment is more important than authenticity in this case. So let's do this. So you see, our mind is a very sophisticated system that will do and learn what's necessary to make sure that our inherent values and needs are met as best as possible. So in this case, it is prioritizing attachment. So now, subconsciously, I feel this need to harmonize a relationship even at the expense of my own authenticity. But that doesn't mean that I'm already self-abandoning. But I am actually saving myself in the way that I perceive would be the best. You know, if let's say that I'm at home and there's an earthquake and I have two very precious objects, I don't know, a plushie or something else, but I can only grab one to run out of the house and there's this serious earthquake, then I only can grab one. It doesn't mean that I wanted to abandon the other thing, but actually because that's what I could do in the moment. But of course, if the mind could later learn how to reconcile both needs, like for example, okay, maybe now with this earthquake experience, I learned that, okay, if I want to save the different precious items, next time I just put them together and then I'll just grab them easily the next time I run away. So just as this example, the mind can actually learn how to reconcile with my need for belonging, my need for attachment, with my need for authentic expression. So now I can learn how to do this in the next situation, scenarios. But when we call it self-abandoning, we are actually not acknowledging the capacity and sophistication of the mind, the capacity to actually reconcile this, and that it is actually always loyal to the most important values, to the hierarchy of values that we have internally. And when we are doing this, we are self-abandoning, we are really, how do I say? It's also like, why are we seeing parts of ourselves as the enemies, but actually not acknowledging that we are already different parts of us wanting to, learn how to work things out together. But we are just, learning. We are not perfect yet, but we can learn how to perfect it in the long run. And I noticed that in the personal development world, there is often this belief, this quote, this motivational speech that is, the mind is a liar, the mind lies. Like in Portuguese, we have this expression, a mente mente. Mente can be like the mind or the verb lying. So there is often this belief that, the mind lies, the mind is this, and etc. But when we are doing this, we are actually separating ourselves further with the mind, a part of us. And then we are just really seeing it as a kind of even enemy, But the mind is actually very sophisticated. It actually is quite loyal to us and our values, but it just needs to learn better by experience, by other people's wisdom, when we learn, when we read books, and then we learn by experience as we go through the experience and learn, actually I can still express myself in an authentic manner while preserving the attachment in some shape or form. Or then we learn actually a certain attachment might not be as aligned as we thought, then we can find other attachments. But not to, think it's either this or that. Like, if I am prioritizing relationships, then I am self-abandoning. Because now you're creating either this or that. You don't see how they can go together. But actually, attachment is also important to you. And what happens is that many people in personal development, now they feel that, I need to be super independent. I need to be, not depending on anyone, not needing anyone. But guess what? Humans are interrelational species. So we need each other to live a happier, more fulfilling life. And when we are, limiting all this, then we are really either, now I don't, the relationships, either they have to perfectly accommodate me or I am self-abandoning, which is not true. But you can actually work things together in the long run because both are actually important to you. But if you go with the self-abandonment, speech, then you are just thinking it's either this or that, but not realizing that your mind is actually prioritizing both but can only save one, and only know how to save one and not knowing how to save both in a situation. So I hope that this video helps understanding better, and at least it's my opinion and my experience observations. And of course, like, other people might have other different kind of experiences. And of course, if you also want to share what you feel about this, you can also share it on the comment section to let me know how you feel about it. And if you also have questions for me, you can also share, and I would be happy to know what exactly you might want to ask me. And yeah, I hope that this video has been fun and have been helping you understand a little bit more about self-abandonment, about the human needs in relationships, and also authentic expression. So yeah, stay tuned for more videos.